you guys started this thing as part of a parent group. So your capex investment for scaling is also there. Then you don't promote when you start a new shop. You can profit on the first month. What black magic is this?
It was 3 years of finding a formula. Lor. There's 2 years of it you didn't see lah.
Okay.
To figure out all the nuance, all the formula of manpower to put cost to rent, how much revenue we must hit to hit a certain profitability. And if we take a unit that they offer us a certain rent, we must go and watch the crowd there, see whether there's a lot of riders around to see, do we think we can hit this revenue target? If you cannot, we don't take lor. Never run ads, never do shit. When you open, you do promo. Your operation don't know what is happening. Haven't like get their bearings and everything. Your manpower is weak. And you want to blast them with sales. How are they gonna cope? So you're gonna get negative experience. You're gonna devalue your product from day one. Means they will expect, example, if I sell them pasta $2 from day one, they will always remember you as $2 pasta. Also, when you open a shop, it's naturally hype ready. Because it's something new. If your sales dip, then you introduce your things, your marketing, your promo to bring back up.
Welcome back to TFC Business Show. I'm your host, Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut.
I'm your occasional co-host.
Not as occasional already. I'm very happy about it.
Occasional.
Yes.
Occasional.
We will slowly get there. Yes. And today we are gonna talk about a topic that is
close to our hearts, close to our stomach, but we are trying to do a different spin. I think these few months, many different outlets, many different people have talked about it.
Yeah. You was talking about a new mall, by the way.
I was talking about
updated mall.
Vivo City. Vivo City. I for those who are listening right now, 6 a.m. in the morning, right? Maybe Vivo City haven't opened, but recently Vivo City has rejigged the entire F&B. I think they spent a few months trying to rejig their entire F&B offerings at B2. I think it's at B2. So when you leave the Harbourfront MRT station, you definitely see it. I think it's fabulous.
The word is fabulous. I've never heard him say fabulous.
Very intentional.
Very intentional. So it's fabulous. So Mapletree commercial REITs, you can reach out to us, okay? I'm very happy to take some advertisement dollar.
Because
Sorry, I very care about the business. Important.
It's all about ROI
all about the business. Yes.
For me, it's all about content and my guests. And what is ever happening is in the market. But what is happening in the market is that I literally, because I've been a frequent patron of Vivo City, and then for the past few years already, every week I go there, do my groceries, and then I've seen how the F&B offerings transform. Basically right now is literally a new wonderland. Because thank you for bringing Birds of Paradise into the fold. But today we are still talking about F&B, and we all know the F&B climate is not doing that great. So how dare our guest today, being a young entrepreneur, how dare he go into this industry and open 5 outlets? How dare him, okay?
Very misguided.
We have the owner of PastaGo today, who is also a tenant of in Vivo City. Darren, please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Darren. I'm from PastaGo. We sell fresh pasta, halal certified, at a pretty affordable and accessible price. And we focus mostly on takeaway and delivery, but we have some dine-in at Star Vista and Vivo City, as they mentioned. Hope you all come and try us someday. Trying to make fresh pasta more well known to the Singapore public lah.
Why pasta? Why not bak chor mee the mee? Why not yellow mee? Why not Asian kind of mee?
Yeah. And can I add another question on top of that? So he wants to know why this category. I even want to know why F&B.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like, why are you doing this thing?
Okay, so the story goes, during COVID-19 or the pandemic, I was stuck at home. So the recipes that came into my YouTube feed happened to be pasta. So the channels like Not Another Cooking Show, Ethan Shablowski, all these cooking shows, they do pasta. And then I guess it's an easy way to get started into cooking lah. So it's simple ingredients, simple steps, but you can produce a product with enough technique and enough trial and error, you'll get a good product. Yeah, so I tried a lot of pasta recipes during this period. And I think, 1 year, 2 years later, I just happened to become the first fresh pasta at scale in Singapore lor.
So you're a kombucha baby lah. The kombucha generation.
I did kimchi though, but not
Oh,
kombucha.
you're one of those.
I tried kimchi, yes.
Yeah, I bet 1990. I also did kombucha during pandemic, but then I fell off the bandwagon. I bet 99% of the people, whatever you did lah, is it Bus cheesecake, whatever.
Yeah lor.
You just did for that 2 years.
Correct.
And then they just stop already.
Yeah,
But
now
you are,
I start PastaGo, I also never cook pasta at home already. I cook at my shop only.
He allergic to it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. If everybody asks me, hey, can you help me listen to my podcast? And there's no such thing.
Yeah, lor.
I'm not
Yeah.
helping you. You're making me work.
Right. Yeah, it's
So,
like
yeah.
the brain cannot turn off
Yes,
once you
yes,
see.
yes,
but
yes.
was it so straightforward? Was it so simple? I like doing pasta for 2 years and therefore this is going to be my career.
Yeah, so I was in a food tech company during my internship, right? So my mentor at the time, he worked well with me during the period. So after the internship is over, then he decided to like ask me, do you want to start F&B after uni, after my final year? So I R&D during my final year of uni, all the recipes. And at the time, because the F&B scene was a lot of closed outlets, right? So I actually used 2020, end of 2021, start of 2022. So I just used a kitchen, an abandoned kitchen to do my R&D. So I bought in the pasta machine, the small pasta machine. Then just try all the flour, try all the different additives, and then we come out with an initial recipe for PastaGo. So that is how it got started. It's very funny because my whole uni life, I told myself, I'll never go F&B. And then, as the universe does what the universe does.
Don't blame the universe.
Yeah, they'll just give you the opposite. Everything that you don't know which one you get.
And then so it was okay for NUS to say that your FYP is going to is just develop different kinds of pasta.
No, it wasn't my FYP. So after my internship ended, then while I was doing my final year of studies, no more FYP already. It's just modules. Yeah, then I at the side, between my revision, I go and play pasta lor.
But maybe just help me understand that frame of mind, right? Okay,
Yeah.
at that point in time, I know you were doing that whole like, nothing to do, so let me just cook some stuff type of situation, and then you get very deep into that.
Yes.
And then you have a little bit of this like food tech background, but nobody forced you to get a kitchen and
I also don't know how it happened.
and try to it's a very different situation from doing it at home, having fun with it, and then suddenly one day say like, oh, I'm gonna rent a place and then do this, right? So
Yeah.
like what is that kind of?
So I've always had this, I guess, entrepreneurial side. I didn't really want to be stuck in the classic at the time, you don't want to be sitting in the cubicle, answering emails, go to office every day. I wanted a bit more freedom lah. Yeah, so my internship was in business development. Yeah, so it was more on the sales marketing side. Yeah, so I like the aspect of you need to do something and what you do gives you the results rather than you just maintain a system, be part of a system lah.
And you started this on your own?
So my mentor at the time, he's the one who brought me over. Yeah, so I didn't know what it was like to be in F&B because I never, maybe for the worst also, because I didn't do any part-time jobs in F&B. I wasn't in the service line before. So from my R&D kitchen, talk to nobody. Then when I open my first shop, I'm like, oh shit, what did I get into, right? Because when the opening day come, the queue start, then everything is not prepared. Wow, then I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
But I do want to understand, so your mentor and you, right, what is the kind of structure when you entered this thing?
He's the director, lor. So-called the main coordinator with the investor.
So you own how many percent of the percent at that
Wow,
point
this
in
one
time?
cannot share lah.
No, at that point in time when you first started.
No, nothing. Sweat equity.
Oh my god!
Sweat equity, no choice. I was taught like that, so I just okay lah, tank it lah, hope for the best lah.
So this random guy that is in F&B, I mean he's a mentor lah, not a random guy, right? Kind of tell you, hey, you do this right? And then give you sweat equity.
Yes.
And then at that point in time, you were a broke uni kid that has student debt. And you're just like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I try for a few years lah. Then I tried for a few years until now lor.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are the heng kia already.
Heng kia. At least it turned around.
At least it made sense after that.
It made sense eventually.
Okay, so you had a sweat equity structure until which point that you renegotiate this thing? Or was there
2
a
years
renegotiation?
plus in, then I renegotiate. When the company okay, I go renegotiate lah.
Okay. But you didn't put in any capital lah. It's the sweat structure, right?
Sweat structure, yes.
Okay.
How do you meet him?
My internship that time, he was the manager when I came in.
Maybe share a bit more.
A lot of communication things lah, because if he's not so much on the ground, the common practice with a lot of founders who are not on the ground and the person running on the ground, there's always a mismatch because you see the reality, they have vision, but they don't see what's happening on the ground. So as the company grew, it also became my role to communicate from his perspective and from the ground's perspective. We have to meet somewhere in the middle lah. Yeah, so I also believe that because he is traditionally in F&B and I'm not, and I'm very grateful that I didn't come from F&B, so I don't come in with the preconceived notion that every time you work, you just work. I came in with, why can things not be more efficient? Why are things not run like a corporate, so-called more like a white-collar corporate company? So I question all of this. I question culture. I question how the team must be trained to think. They cannot just do. Yeah, so I think eventually this mentality led to the team we have grown to today.
Okay, I get it. I mean, just share a bit on my I also wasn't from media. So when I came here, I was like, why are things like this? Right? Like a fun fact that a lot of people didn't know is that in a media house, right, oftentimes the people that do the editorial content, they are one team. Okay? And then the people that do sponsored content is another team. Okay, they do not work together, and they oftentimes have very different flows and functions, right? Because one service the client for sponsored stuff, the other is given this like liberty to do whatever they want, right? And of course you must have a certain structure to have that, right? But when I ran the team, I was like, this is so weird, because the people that are running the content at free will, right, has no understanding of what commercialization mean. So they just do whatever thing that they want, and it just does not make sense. Right? Then how do you kind of like rework this structure? Then that's the whole nuance of the game.
Yes. Yeah, it's just like same with a lot of F&Bs also, the R&D team and the ops team not together. So when they design a recipe, it's like 20 steps. Then you go into operation, you're like, bro, where got 400 order coming, how I settle?
So what is this white collarization of your company?
How to handle conflict? Like, it shouldn't be, when you go to work, it shouldn't be like politics. It shouldn't be, I don't like this guy, so I don't work with this guy. You talk it out. You talk logic. Where everybody come down already, you say, what is it we are trying to achieve? Then we work towards that together. It's not that you don't want to work. I mean, I must throw you to another outlet. I must fire you, We try to work things out. And then over time, they will also learn that with their own team, they have to have this kind of structure where they talk to people.
Okay. For someone that joined without much logic, now you tell me we should talk logic, right?
Yeah.
But I agree, okay? I just disturb you.
It's like that.
Yeah, it's like that. Entrepreneur always start like that, because if you know how difficult it is, right,
you will never do it.
Never do it.
Never do it.
Yes.
PastaGo is not the only outlet selling pasta, right? But I'm also sure your food science background has given it some form of differentiation without being too technical, right?
Can be more technical, divulge the recipe.
Okay, divulge. Whatever you want. What makes your pasta so different?
Pasta in Singapore, out there, if they don't make their own, there's the bite in the middle, right? It's a bit hard. It's like you bite through. It's called al dente. So actually, fresh pasta cannot be al dente because it is not dry, right? So the difference is I try to model it to the more chewy Asian noodles, because that's the kind of noodle I like. Because we have to design our pasta from scratch. So the quality of whether the pasta comes out chewy is also our responsibility. So we have to tweak the hydration, like how much water we add to the flour. We have to tweak how much salt we add. We have to tweak what additives, natural things like starch, how much egg, do we add any like baking soda, etc. All these we must tweak and down to a gram. Because if you run a little bit, then the whole batch is gone. The 100 kg whatever batch is gone.
I'm always very curious. I never got a chance to ask a F&B owner. I know that you cannot copyright or you cannot copyright or patent a recipe, right? So you obviously had a formulation. Is there any way to protect it? Or it's really a case whereby people come already, learn it from you because you are the one who carries the formulation.
Yes.
Then you hire your team, right? And you teach, and then 6 months later, let me go and set up my own one. And then you find another mee pok.
That's why the olden day story is the boss will wake up at 5 a.m., do the special broth, then after hand over to the next person.
Everybody, I would say that there's NDAs with supplier. There is trust I have in my team. And anyway, truth be told, if they want to take my recipe, go and start. Go and try. Go and try, please. Like, if you can do it better than me,
I join you.
I join you, really. Because it's not about the recipe. I feel it's a lot about execution. It's the whole customer experience end to end. And the only person that will know the details are the founders. At which point did the POS change? At which point did I change this recipe? At which point, why did I change it? So that it appeals to my customers.
Okay, so you tell me the formulation also no use, right? I don't really understand the game, but I do know that product development and this whole iterative process, right? There are some general principles, right? So how do you kind of play with that part? Like, how do you do this iterative process to decide that, okay, this is the formulation I'm going out with?
Okay, so general principles is you change one variable at a time instead of science lah. But realistically, in business, you got no time to do such thing. You have to change as many things as you can, hope that it works, right? So we get customer feedback is one point of reference. When we see a lot of regulars, when we see people WhatsApp in, like negatively, especially when they say recently it's been very soft or very hard, especially when regulars tell us, then we're like, okay, something must change, right? We also have our internal team that eats, we QC our own pasta. So we QC the moment it comes out, we QC 30 minutes in, we QC 1 hour in, QC 2 hour in, the texture, whether it changes. And so we have to try within like 15 seconds cooking time also, whether 30 seconds, if the recipe robust enough such that in case you overcook 30 seconds, because it's not going to be perfect. If you overcook 30 seconds, can it still hold up 1 hour, especially for delivery or this? It needs to reach the customer's house. By the time they eat, it cannot be a lump and it cannot be noir.
A lot of
moving
knowledge.
parts.
A lot.
Yeah. No, because as he was talking, I start to understand. So, okay, this is a fresh pasta, right?
Yeah.
Over the course of the shelf where it's sitting there is drying up.
Yes.
Right. So that thing is then going to affect the cooking time.
Yeah.
Right?
So when you design the shop, the aircon cannot point at the pasta. All this kind of thing also adds up.
Yeah. As compared to the dry pasta, it's very dry. So the quality control is a lot simpler.
It's not like fried rice. Fried rice travels well. You can put there for 3 hours, it's still the same.
So if that's the case, right? If there's so many moving parts to this product process, right, where you take from creation until like serving the customer, right? How do you teach your team then?
Certain people in the company, the managers and the experienced supervisors, they'll understand why we do certain things. And then the SOP is already designed to be idiot-proof. Except for aglio olio, it takes a bit more skill, but it's still easy enough that a part-timer who have no experience come in, within 2 days, I can teach you how to do. Can cook all the pasta.
So when it comes to designing so recipe is one of them, formulation is one of them, right? But presentation, when it comes to designing your shop front, I have to say it looks like one other brand. It looks like the fried rice brand. Can say not? It looks like okay. How do you draw inspiration from the other F&B brands in Singapore to make sure that on a shop front level, appearance really matters, especially for diners, right? You pretty, you're not pretty, then it decides whether I want to try it or not. What was the thought process behind in designing your packaging and then your storefront?
So the storefront side, I think as you described, they created so-called the meta for kiosk. Your kitchen is at the front, and then while after the person is ordered, they watch you cook. That is the meta that they define. It has been like that for the last 3 to 4 years. So we just took inspiration and made our kitchen open. And the whole F&B was transitioning towards that. Right. Then for the packaging wise, we came from a perspective of a customer when they eat, right? Sometimes you order bak chor mee, then they have the soup below, then the noodle on top. Then when you need to eat, you need to cluck that thing come out, right? Then the bottom is oily, and then you need to pour the noodle into the soup, and then it splash everywhere. So I came from a customer experience, wanted it to be very convenient. Because at the beginning, takeaway only. So we tried to think of one hand you hold, you can walk and eat. That was the concept at the time. That was before we introduced you can add 5 toppings, upsize, all this. That cannot mix already. Yeah, but back then it was a more simple concept. So that's why we designed the box to be like a hand holdable eating experience.
Okay.
Just now you mentioned you have customers giving you feedback on WhatsApp, right? Maybe I'm detached from reality. I don't care to give feedback unless it's like I order
silent majority.
I add 5 things. I ordered 5 things from you, and then you didn't give me one. Then I'll complain. That is my only feedback for you.
Yes.
So, in general, how many percentage of your customers actually bother to give you feedback?
Very little. But you see the sales. To us, we see the sales first. Normally, feedback is better when you have a lot of negative feedback continuously. It's like even if you have a huge pool of customers, right? You keep hitting negative means something is very wrong already before the sales drop. So you must fix it before there's a dip. The worst time is you don't even know why your sales dip. That one really you have to dig deep. Why is everything at the way it is? What did we change wrongly? Etc. etc. Then you must tweak back. Try to revert a bit. Yeah. So one example would be portion size. There was a period that we started the portion size and our box got bigger. So it make it look very little. It's the same amount of pasta. But because of the perception, people will say, wow, you all give very little pasta. So what is the long-term solution is shrink the box size. Short-term solution, increase the pasta portion. These are just some examples.
Yeah, interesting. And just now you were saying that, you started out as a very simple pasta thing on the go, right? Okay. And then eventually you started adding all the other toppings and all that. Right? So my understanding probably is just trying to increase ticket size now, right? So how does that process kind of look like? And, marginally, what was that? What was that kind of revenue growth. So assuming you don't increase number of tickets, right? That means you still service the same amount of customer, but you adjust your offerings by allowing top-ups. And with those top-ups, what are we looking at from a jump perspective?
Jump perspective, okay, I think there was two key jumps lah. So the first jump was when I finally had time out operation, I looked at the delivery menu. I was like, how come I very easy from my operation point of view, I just scoop one more plate of chicken. People also want, people also ask me at the shop, can I do double chicken? Then I look at my POS, I cannot. Why? Why? It's stupid, right? Doesn't make sense, right? Because if the customer want, I give it to them. So I redesigned the delivery menu again, add more add-ons. Right? Then I realized, wow, one person can order $30 one box of pasta. They just add 2 chicken, 2 salmon, broccoli, cherry tomato, add until shuang. Then I was like, oh, that is a key point. Like people want to customize their own order. So I cannot give you my perfect pasta. It will not match your taste. So I give you the option to make your own pasta. That was, when we transition more to that, then the delivery was the first part. And then we translate that to our ordering experience. So when you yourself, if you ever gone to a cashier, you're a bit stressed lah. Behind you got queue. You look at the menu, you don't know what to order. Then you're like, okay, I just ordered the set A. Right? Set A, then it's only $6.90, $7.90. Then you're like, okay, I order one set A, then I walk away. But if I put the self-ordering kiosk, I take away this pressure. I tap. It's a fun experience. I tap. Ooh, I can see the whole menu. It's interactive, right? So let's say today I want to eat carbonara. I press carbonara. Then I see, wow, got 5 pasta options. At the cashier, they will not know. Because there's so many menus, they'll be lost, right? But when it comes to I need to choose my own order, I can tap what I want. So in the moment of tapping, I will understand as a consumer that there are these options, right? So I can tap harder noodle, softer noodle, I can customize. I can tap less oil, I can tap more chili, more cheese. Then I will see, oh, I can add chicken, I can add prawn. I will start to understand the menu fundamentally. So if I didn't have this self-order, either you go to the cashier, you have to stand there for 15 minutes to, design and think about, oh, what do I want to add? What can I do? What can I do? So because we have this self-ordering now, we can have 2 people who are not pressured, know exactly what the options are, and then they can come out with their own personal pasta that they might like. And at the same time, because you chose the pasta, part of the blame if the order is not up to your standard is on you because you chose ma. Let's say you chose harder noodle, then it come out hard. Whose fault? I mean, it is our fault, a recipe, but it's also because you thought you wanted harder noodle. So all these little things with consumer, they are not pressured. They start to understand your brand, your menu a bit more. It all adds up over time. Then you start to see that, the ticket size start to go from $8, go to $10.90, go to $12. Because people will be like, oh, I like the chicken, I add more chicken.
Okay. Yeah. Then okay, so you optimize the user experience, you optimize your product line so that you make sure the numbers make sense, right? Yes. I think that is basics of all businesses, right? It's just that it takes different methods to the madness. Okay, yes. So based on the category that you play in, but then you enter a different game when you start to scale.
Yes,
right?
Definitely.
Where you do more than one outlet and many more. So maybe share with me a little bit more, how did that kind of start?
We enter with intention to have multiple outlets already. So thankfully for us from day one, all the SOPs were SOP'd already. We didn't just, the chef know what to do. I could already hand over to somebody to cook from day one. So that was the first part of scaling, that one easy settle. Second part is the books were settled from the beginning because we are part of a larger group. We were invested, right? So they give us
right from the get-go.
So they already help us to manage finance, etc. So all this settled, so we can focus on actually growing the brand, right? Rather than still have to think about what if I cannot pay my people, right? But at least we do have to. A lot of the administrative things is the backlog. All this is what adds up to the founder's plate. So when this happens, your bandwidth becomes I must settle the admin rather than how can I grow the brand.
does the group have the lion's share of the business, or does the founder still own predominant share of the business? I don't need to know the breakdown. I'm just trying to understand the incentive.
Mostly it's still by the group.
Okay. You know what I mean, right? Because a lot of these, I mean, in certain categories, like in some of these tech startups, right? You put all these like big founders on the stage, right? Actually, they own barely 2%.
Yeah.
You know, of the whole business, right? So I'm just trying to understand, because I think it's also a fair statement to say if you don't own a lot, you don't own a lot of it, it's a bit hard to like, whoa, be excited and do the grind lah.
So because if you have a big investor behind you, does that mean you're fairly shielded from what's going on in the industry now?
I think so.
In terms of
rental, manpower,
capex to start outlet and cash flow wise, we are shielded. I would say that we are very blessed to be in this position. But from day one, the group's expectation of us is from month one we profit. That is the expectation of us. And if we don't, they will come after us.
Okay.
You mean month one?
Month one. Yeah. There's always this expectation that when you open outlet, you should profit ASAP, immediately. So at the beginning, couldn't lah. So, but as long as they see the number is from very red to less red to not so red to a bit green, as long as they see there's a progress, as long as they see that the staffing is getting stronger, the revenue numbers are increasing, at least, right, you figure out the cost later, at least your revenue is settled. So eventually it reached a point where at least it's green, can survive sustainably without so-called keep injecting capital to make it work.
So part of your negotiation for equity is every other store that opens must succeed in the first month.
No, me and our supervisors, we all get profit sharing. So if the outlets make money, we take some of the cut. So other than that, from a scaling perspective, also becomes, back to your question about scaling, right? It becomes culture. So thankfully from day one, the character of me and my boss is the type that we hate drama. So we focus on the issue rather than the person, right?
Yeah, so if the person is petty and focuses on the individual personal attack,
yes,
this person gets pushed out.
Not pushed out, but we first try to convert.
Okay.
Because sometimes it's a defense mechanism because their ex-working location could be like that. And most F&Bs, I think, out there work on a certain structure that I use my position to say you.
Can
so when they come to
toxic,
PastaGo, I would not say toxic, but it's hierarchical. So when they come to PastaGo, then we have part-timers telling full-timers, hey, you should do this. Then they're also like, a bit weird, why? Yeah, then we realized that this is very abnormal in the industry because we have staff that have less fuss. 2 months later, they go out there in the wilderness and they realize, shit, PastaGo actually good. They come back, right? And they're some of our stable staff now because they realize that actually the working environment is very important. When they come to work, I don't want them to be unhappy. You come to work, you're going to chiong every day. At least when you're working, you are laughing, you're having a good time. You don't like, I need to care about this person drama. Cannot offend this person. It's about the shop win together, everyone win.
Okay.
It's because I've been hearing all the different reports about F&B and in Singapore, because you have 3 different pillars, right? Manpower, ingredients, and rental. And in Singapore, all 3 of them are high, right? And I don't know, people have been blaming rental, they have been blaming manpower, but this is the first time, or maybe I've not listened wide enough. This is the first time I hear an F&B founder saying that with the right culture, you can retain the actual manpower, and therefore you don't have to spend so much time on trying to hire and hire and hire again. Hire, retrain, lose, hire, retrain, lose. So that's the...
We have to keep hiring, but our process, at least over time, it becomes when we hire in, we don't lose right? So at least they stay and they want to stay. Yeah, so at least the loss part is not bad. They don't leave because they want to go to another company. Usually they leave because they have some other commitment or I don't know, some life circumstance. For example, they have kids now. They need to take more time to take care of their kids. Then they become part-timer. Yeah, so we are flexible in that aspect.
Okay, can you give me a bit of color? I don't know whether you have cross-checked other people, but because what you're saying is our team culture is different from most other team culture out there. That's the long and short of it, right?
Yes.
So what is the kind of retention rate that we're looking at? Just so some of the founders out there can know and shake up their mind a little bit. Actually, you can do it differently and then the retention rate will be much higher.
Okay, I'm going to be very clear. I really have no idea what's the market rate, okay? But when a full-timer comes in, if they pass probation, usually means they are part of the team culture. And I've only in my 3 years had to let go Three River.
And how many percent are locals?
Maybe 1-to-1 Malaysian to local.
Okay.
Full-timers.
Yeah, and then HQ has a few other
HQ has
headcount.
locals, yes.
Okay. Yeah, fair. I am very, very curious about the whole, like, how do you make money from day one, from the first month? So because this brings into a lot of the promotional elements and, like, and that whole thing. I mean, you're a brand, yes. But even if you open the new space, your sign is still new to the region, right? The consumers there. So like, if that is the KPI, profit from the first month, what are the promotional strategies, or what is the strategy to do that?
It's the most opposite F&B thing you can think of. When we open, we don't do shit. We just open. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, really. Never run ads, never do shit. Only delivery ads because you need to expose people to, they can order this. Why? Okay, why I think it's terrible to do promos when you first open, in my opinion. First of all, I was taught by one of the person in the group told this to me. It stuck with me until now. When you open, you do promo, your operation don't know what is happening. Haven't like get their bearings and everything. Your manpower is weak. And you want to blast them with sales. How are they going to cope? So you're going to get negative experience. You're going to devalue your product from day one. Means they will expect, example, if I sell them pasta $2 from day one, they will always remember you as $2 pasta. So when you go back to your $9.90, $7.90, then they'll be like, no lah, I don't want. So you devalue, you destroy your operation, you destroy your morale. Then after that, you ping ming, you chung 1 month, you see red. Because why? You cut your margin. So what is the point? I feel there's no point. Also, when you open a shop, it's naturally hype ready because it's something new. So you just leverage that it's new. If your sales dip, then you introduce your things, your marketing, your promo to bring back up. So typically, I think F&B is first 3 months naturally high sales, new. Like Vivo is very new, right? There will be a lot of people. When it dips, after 3 months it dips because the wonder is over. Then you can introduce I have an exclusive, I have a promo here, I want to do 1-to-1, 1-for-1, etc. And I don't believe it. Personally, I don't believe in discount. Because if I can give you discount, means I didn't put enough effort into the product. Right? I'm giving you at the best price. I feel I'm giving you at the best price I can give you without dying. Yeah, so that is my mentality.
So on this topic, right, is it really beneficial to be listed on food delivery apps? Because they don't just deliver for you for sure. They also sell you ads. They will sometimes, if you buy, they will push your storefront up on the homepage. No, but is it how, as in food delivery versus your walk-in versus your whatever, right? What percentage of it?
Kiosk-wise, I feel is 100% you must have delivery because you got no sit-in crowd. You have to churn a lot of volume. So delivery brings a lot of volume to your kiosk. It can be, especially in residential, a lot of people nowadays don't want to go out. So delivery. And because we're already designed for takeaway, then it makes sense that somebody just delivering it for us. So it is a huge chunk. I cannot say how much, but it is a huge chunk of revenue comes from delivery.
This one is for my personal curiosity because I don't deliver, but I do pick up. I'm curious from your own perspective, do people actually use pickup?
A few only, not that many. Yeah, because those are the very avid Grab or Foodpanda users. But most, if they want to come down, they will order online.
But it sounds very good, Like
it sounds like everything is going well for you.
I really need
No.
What's the drama?
I really need to square this thing, right? So, okay, you don't spend a single cent on promotion, right? I mean, when you start a new shop, right? Okay, you don't spend a single cent on promotion. Then you have you sound like you have a relatively stable labor team because you set a culture in a certain way. So
you caught me at a good time,
right? So
just 2 weeks ago, I would say something different.
Okay. So that's that. And then because you guys are you guys started this thing as part of a parent group. So your CapEx investment for scaling is also there. I mean, big groups are like that, right? If it works, let's just scale it, right? So that's that. Then you don't promote when you start a new shop. You can profit on the first month. What black magic is this?
It was 3 years of finding a formula. There's 2 years of it you didn't see
Okay.
To figure out all the nuance, all the formula of manpower to food cost to rent, how much revenue we must hit to hit a certain profitability. And if we take a unit that they offer us a certain rent, we must go and watch the crowd there, see whether there's a lot of riders around to see, do we think we can hit this revenue target? If you cannot, we don't take.
Can you share some of this formula?
So out of 100% of your revenue, let's say, F&B typical is 30% food, 20% labor, 15% rent or 20% rent lah. So in a mall setting, it can vary. You can pay more for more food costs. So like let's say your chicken rice or this high food cost for meat, but they sell you $4.50. But they only need 2 people to operate the shop. So maybe their manpower is 10%. Then they have enough revenue such that their rent is only maybe 10 or 12% of their full revenue. Then they can make the leftover. Yeah. So every F&B you must go in with the mentality that you cannot follow another brand's formula. You must find your own formula. Yeah. So bubble tea is the opposite. Food cost is very low, but labor is very high. You see, Chargy need 15 people, 20 people to settle the operation. But their tea is what? 10 cents? Yeah. So when you enter, if you ever intend to enter F&B, which I highly do not recommend, unless you have a supporter or someone to guide you, just know that this formula will keep changing over time. Because when you first start, your operation will not be smooth. So you might need high manpower. But you can do more things in-house, your cost can be low. Then as you scale, your food cost might go up because why? You need to engage maybe central kitchen. You need to engage people who cook your recipe for you, OEM, outsource to them so that you don't have to do it bulk in your shop. And especially when your volume goes up, you have no choice, right? So when that happens, your manpower will has to come down to make up for this increase in food costs. Yeah, so all this is tweaks over time lah.
No, I mean previously other F&B operators came in also similar. There's a space. You know, you are pricing for perfection.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Do you have an internal expectation of how often you need to reinvent your menu?
Officially reinvent the whole menu, no. But I will always try to improve the recipe. My recipe has not stayed stagnant for ever.
And you think that people can taste the difference?
I think it can only get better. I only develop it to get better, never to be worse. Yeah, because I don't add water or this thing. I try not to.
Do you believe that Singaporean customers are picky when it comes to food?
Vocal minority, but the majority will just eat shuang, pay you. Their vote is with their money. If you keep seeing the same faces, if you see they will comment on you or they bring someone along, then you know that it's.
This saying that when it comes to food, Singaporeans are very fickle. We always chase the new brands and everything.
I don't think so.
I also don't think so. I have stuck to the same brand for many years.
But I think we have a lot of options. There's a lot of new things. It will come. Then you'll see lah. Then.
But the things that last are the dailyable things. Yeah. So even my recipes, I have to develop such that it can be eaten multiple times a week lah. I cannot just let's say you go to a pasta restaurant. You eat one time, all the butter just bomb. You don't want to eat pasta for 2 weeks.
But that's essentially the concept that you're working with, right? If I'm going to an Italian restaurant, I want that serious, luxurious energy because I'm paying $150 for that.
Luxurious energy, yes, but it cannot be so cloying such that I don't want to come back.
Of course. But you know what I mean, right? Yeah. Essentially, it's a different
ball game.
And then you are playing the ball game where you want the repeat customer, treat it like an everyday meal, right?
Correct. So, but certain restaurants, I feel they can only benefit from having repeating customers. Mm-hmm. I would say, even if you don't come back once every week, you come back once a month is very good. Because eventually all these number of regulars will add up. So like Scarpetta is a very hype example. There are many people who go back there regularly.
My conclusion is that if every F&B owner thinks like you, formulates like you, then marketing our business already. No need marketing. Don't have. You don't have.
Organic social media lah. Organic social media.
No, I mean.
No, but marketing, as I've seen from your LinkedIn, is an end-to-end thing. It's not just what you post, right? It's your whole shop experience, how I do service recovery, the little details down to the receipt is facing my staff, not you. All these little things add up to give you a good experience.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great conversation.
If our audience would like to connect with you, where is a good place to
LinkedIn is a good place. I don't really have an IG. I only have a training account.
Okay. So LinkedIn will be a good place
yes.
Connect. Thank you for your time. I wish you well. Thank you for tuning in, week in, week out. I think it's a validation that we are sufficiently educational. And I hope that after you listen today, as much as I don't think F&B is an easy business. I hope it gives you some sort of thoughts to go about dabbling in this venture. Okay, and we wish you well. If you love what we do, go to thefinancialcoconut.com to put your email so that we can get in contact with you when we have an event, we have a new thing that's coming up, right? So we hope to see you there and connect with you. Meanwhile, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.